Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Today we are going to be talking about fragrance oils. We will be testing 3 different fragrance oils, and I will generally be walking through my fragrance oil testing process, which I have now. When I first started making soap, I didn't test my fragrance oils at all. Whatever fragrance oils I bought, I dumped into my soaps and prayed for the best. This resulted in some really wonky batches and, quite frankly, some wasted product and raw materials, which equals wasted money. Now that we're making a lot more soap than before, and it's not just me pouring one loaf, I really can't afford to have really messed up batches. So we purchased sample size fragrances for me to test in little batches, see how they do, and then we buy big containers of them. Before we talk a little bit more about the fragrance oils we have here, I wanted to tell you guys that today's video is, thank goodness, sponsored by Skillshare. You guys know I've worked with Skillshare many times in the past, and I love their company. It is a seamless integration for royalty soaps because over here we are all about being positive and learning. Skillshare is an online learning community with over 25,000 classes in basically everything from design to business to cake decorating. Yes, they even have soap making and candle making videos as well. So whether you're trying to fuel your curiosity, your creativity, or maybe you're trying to get more skills in the career path you have chosen, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning in a fun way. It's also super affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. And for the first 1,000 people who sign up via my link down below, you will get 2 months of the Skillshare premium membership for free, so you can test drive it and see if it's right for you. And basically everything I know about Adobe Photoshop I learned from Skillshare, and I actually have a project coming out in September in which I was able to create labels 100% by myself, in-house royalty soaps. Yes, me. I was able to create my business labels and they look really good, and I can't wait to share that product line with you guys in the future. So if Skillshare sounds like it's right for you, once again, follow the link down in the description box below, and also as the pinned comment in the comment section. The first 1,000 people to sign up get 2 months of the premium membership for free. I want to say thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. I highly value your partnership. You guys, seriously, they're an amazing company. Like, there's just so much to learn. If you are interested, go sign up. All right, and without further ado, let's talk a little bit more about fragrance oils. So, like, what are fragrance oils? Let me look up a dictionary definition for you. Hey Siri, or don't listen to me, see if I care. According to Wikipedia, fragrance oils, also known as aroma oils, aromatic oils, and flavor oils, are blended synthetic aroma compounds or natural essential oils that are diluted with a carrier like propylene glycol, vegetable oil, or mineral oil. Aromatic oils are used in perfumery, cosmetics, and flavoring of food. When you are a soap maker, you basically have 2 options for fragrancing your soap. You have essential oils and you have the fragrance oils. Fragrance oils, as I just read, are synthetic. They are man-made because chocolate is not a naturally occurring scent. Cupcakes are not naturally occurring. Those ocean smells are not naturally occurring. You can't get a strawberry essential oil. The essential oils are the things that occur naturally in nature. Those are peppermint, lavender, and geranium. Those types of things. You can also have synthetic fragrances that smell like the essential oils, but you can't have the essential oils that smell like some of the fragrance oils. Does that make sense? One is natural, one is not. Who makes the fragrance oils? You've probably seen on the Royalty Soaps channel that I purchase fragrance oils from people like Brambleberry, Nature's Garden Candles, Aztec, Peak, Wholesale Supplies Plus, and Nurture Soap. But these guys are not the ones making the scent. They're not sitting in their soap supply warehouse mixing up cauldrons of smells and bottling them up. They are buying those fragrance oils from people like AFI. These are the people who create the scents. They are the fragrance oil manufacturers. These guys are the fragrance oil distributors. They They buy in bulk from the manufacturers, bottle them up, and mark up the price. They are a third-party distributor. But as you can probably guess, if you can cut out the middleman and go straight to the manufacturer, it's a lot cheaper. However, you have to buy in larger quantities, which is why people go to the third-party distributor, because they're doing us a huge favor by selling smaller quantities, such as 1 ounce, 4 ounce, 8 ounces, or 16-ounce bottles. If you purchase for someone like AFI, you have to buy 10 pounds or more most of the time, and many people don't need that much. When you buy from third-party distributors, there may be a price increase. As an example, in the Royal Creative Academy, where I teach you guys how to make cold processed soaps, the 1 ounce bottles from Nature's Garden are about $3 an ounce. Their 16-ounce bottles can be anywhere between $16, so $1 an ounce, to $32. Some of the ones at Brambleberry and Wholesale Supplies Plus can go up really high, sometimes up to $40 for a pound of fragrance. How much does a pound of fragrance even scent? That's a really good question. Whenever I make a slab of soap, there are 52 bars in a slab, and you use anywhere between 10 and 16 ounces per slab, so per 52 bars. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets per ounce and per pound. If you purchase 10 pounds plus from AFI, however, you can save anywhere between 25 to 40% what you would be spending at a third-party distributor, for a grand total of anywhere between $9 to $12 per pound. Most of the time their shipping is less expensive as well. So now you know what fragrance oil is, you know who you can buy it from, and you know the difference between essential oils and fragrance oils. Today I will be testing 3 fragrance oils, not essential oils. These are the samples from AFI. They do give you out these little sample things if you create a large order and you just want to get a smaller amount to test, which is what I'm doing here. You do, by the way, have to make a large purchase to have access to these. You can't just go over there and buy the 1 ounce samples, as far as I know. I have a new soap coming up that I want to use a new grape fragrance oil. The 3 fragrance oils I have is Grape Blow Pop, Grape Jolly Rancher, and Grape by Blunt Effects. What is Blunt Effects? I don't know. So the first part of my testing is always to smell them, because if I don't like the smell, it's gone. I don't even have to put it in a soap batch. Fragrance oil number 1 is going to be the Grape Blow Pop. So let's smell that and see what we think. Ooh, oh, that smells really good. It does smell like a grape blow pop. I'm always very impressed with what these perfumers can come up with. That is a dead-on dupe. Grape Jolly Rancher is going to be fragrance tester number 2. Oh, that smells really good. Grape Jolly Rancher isn't as sweet, and I would say it even smells a little fizzy. And tester number 3 is going to be Grape by Blunt Effects. Let's smell this. Wow, this sits right in the middle of the other 2. I actually really like this one. It's very mellow. It's amazing to me that I can smell 3 different grape fragrances and they all smell like grape, and yet they all smell completely different. The 3 fragrance oils have passed the first test. I like them. I can now move along to testing them in some cold processed soap. One of the things I will be testing for is discoloration. If the fragrance oil turns my soap black or green or yellow, I don't want it. So I'm going to be taking some of my purple colorants, and I will be adding equal amounts into my 3 oil buckets down on my table. This is a controlled test. I don't want to put this color in one, this color in another, and like white in another, because that won't give me the same results. If I wanted to be really precise, I would measure out the colorants in grams. However, for our purposes today, and because these soaps are not going to be recreated by me or anyone on my team, a simple teaspoon will do. The neon purple I added is Neon Electric Purple from Fizz Fairy. The darker purple I added in is Pow Pow Purple from Mad Micah's. And I'm also going to add a little bit of Mardi Gras Enviro Glitter from Nurture Soap. This is a very sparkly Enviro glitter that will sparkle in the finished bar. The recipe for each one of these batches is exactly the same. And the lye water solution strength is exactly the same as well. By the way, the recipe I'm using today can be found for free in the description box below. I'm going to remove 2 of these buckets, and we're going to start with our Grape Blow Pop Fragrance Oil. For the test, I'm going to go ahead and add the fragrance oil straight into the oils. I'm then going to blend in the colorants and the fragrance oil with my stick blender. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to pour in the lye water solution. So now it's time to tell you guys what other things I'm testing for. Fragrance oils can do really wonky things to your batch besides discoloring them to a yucky color. Sometimes they make your batch thicken up and get so hot you have to plop it into the mold and it gets really, really chunky. In soap world, that is called seizing. Some fragrance oils can move your batter along very fast. It's still manageable. You can probably get a nice pour out of it, but it goes from a really runny liquid batter like this to a really thick pudding texture really fast. That's called acceleration. There's also something called separation. When you pour your fragrance oil in, it separates your lye water solution and your oils, making your batter all oily and curdly. Sometimes you can bounce back from that. You can reincorporate it by stick blending for a long time. But other times the chemicals just don't agree and you have to toss the whole batch. You can also have something called ricing, where you pour the fragrance oil in and instead of incorporating smoothly, it goes wee and turns into little granules all throughout your soap. It curdles, essentially. Those are just a few of the many things that can go wrong with a fragrance oil. Now that I've explained what we're looking for, let's add our lye water solution and see how this batch goes. I have now stick blended this soap for about as long as I would stick blend any of the other ones, and so far, so good. You can see my batter's still nice and runny, so that designs would be easy. It hasn't turned a really nasty color, there's no fragrance oil floating around, and it certainly hasn't accelerated or seized. So far so good, unless something happens after the cure. I'm going to go ahead and pour this soap into the mold. Purple soap in my purple mold. A perfect pour by any count. In fact, this is really still quite runny. If I can move my batch and it's still loose and wiggly like water, I consider that very good. I'm not going to scrape out my container right now because this is so runny it'll just end up spilling over the sides instead of mounding up in the middle. So we're just going to scoot this off to the side and work with our second tester. Time for batch number 2. So I'm not going to clean off my stick blender because it's still plenty runny. I am going to blend in the colorant first, and then I'm going to dump the fragrance oil in after I've mixed in my lye water solution. Lye water solution in, blend that up. My batter is at a lovely consistency, so let's add in our Grape Jolly Rancher. I'm gonna pour that straight in there. I'm gonna begin by moving this around to see if there's any ricing. And as you can see, it is blending in. There's no curdled bits on the soap. It does seem to be discoloring it though, just a little bit. I can see a bit of a yellow tinge going to this soap. Now, I will say, just because I'm seeing that effect happen right now doesn't mean that it won't turn bright purple again later. If you'd like to see one of my paranormal color morph videos, I will link it now in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and you can see that happen to another one of my batches. This is, however, nice and runny. Other than the discoloration, I would say it's looking pretty good. I'm going to blend it in with my stick blender a little bit more, and then we'll pour it into our second mold. This is going swimmingly. This batch is a little thicker than the other one, but not enough for it to matter. All designs would still be quite easy to work with. This one is thick enough that I can go ahead and scrape out my little container here. Get all that soap into there. Okay, let's move along to our final batch. All right, time for soap number 3. Let's blend in that color. Lye water solution. And now for the fragrance oil. Let's see how this looks. Very good. I don't see any ricing. It's incorporating smoothly, and thus far I don't see any discoloring either. Let's blend it in. All right, go ahead and pour this third one in. It seems to be behaving itself pretty well. I see a tiddly bit of discoloration, though not enough to be worried about. Here is soap number 1, here is soap number 2, and here is soap number 3. So now, just for funsies, I'm going to texture the top, and we're going to put a few sparkles on it. Soap number 1 is still plenty pliable after sitting there the longest amount of time. Soap number 2 here is a lot thicker, even though it was the second soap poured. I am testing this fragrance oil with the intention of making an artisan soap, not a frosted soap. And it's good to keep these things in mind. Soap number 3 is about as thick as soap number 2, and it hasn't been sitting but for maybe 2 minutes. This is not a very good sign because it's a lot harder to pour bigger batches. They often take longer, and I know that by the time I get to texturing or swirling the top, it's gonna be so thick that it's not gonna look very good. So for that reason, soap number 3 is probably out of the running. I'm gonna dust the tops now with some purple haze mica. This is from Nurture Soap. Looks really, really pretty. Now I have a little bit of Sparkle Plenty mica. I'm gonna put right across the top just for a little extra shimmer. Sparkle Plenty is from Mad Micas, though both TKB and Nurture Soap have equivalent micas. I am now dusting the top with a secret biodegradable glitter that was sent to me from one of my suppliers. It has not been released yet, so I cannot tell you what it is, but I can tell you it's magical. Topping that off with a little bit of Into the Mystic biodegradable glitter from Mad Micas. And that is it for our 3 tester batches. So I am gonna let these soaps sit for about 48 hours. I'm not going to move them from the table. I'm not going to cover them. I'm not going to insulate them. I'm going to leave them just as you see them here. And then we will come back. We will unmold them. We will check to see if any of them have colored something funny, if they smell weird, if they're really brittle, if they're really soggy. Based on my past experiences, I don't think we're going to have any problems with these particular fragrance oils, but for reasons previously stated, I'm pretty sure number 3 is already out of the running. So the real competition is between number 1 and number 2. We'll be back to check on them after this quick commercial break. Okay guys, so we are back the next day to take these out of the molds. Got number 1 right here, and this is how you remove soap from the mold. It's really quite simple. This silicone does not hold on to the wood very much, so you really just turn it over into your hand and it should slide right out. And then as far as silicone goes, it should peel relatively easy. Sometimes it's a little bit sticky, and in that case, you can pop it into the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes, and that will help a whole lot. Stickiness can also be a side effect of a fragrance oil, so that is something else that I note and I test for. These guys are unmolding very cleanly, even though number 3 here is out of the running. That one has unmolded the best so far. Let's check this guy, see how he does. Yep, number 2 unmolds really easy as well. It's not leaving any residue on the inside, and it is getting all of the corner out. You can see here there's no ripping on the corners. It did move a little bit, but no rips, and that is a really, really good thing. There you go. See, corners pretty clean. A little bit of stickiness right there, but not enough to really matter. You can also see that despite what it looked like yesterday, that paranormal color morphing stopped, and the middle soap is the same color as these 2. Okay, so let us cut our test loaves. Here's number 3, the one we won't be using. It still needs to be cut. Going to press down gently here. And obviously the inside is not going to be the prettiest thing you've ever seen because it's all one color, but it is a really nice color. And honestly, I don't like the smell that much now that I've cut it anyway. So even if it performed perfectly, that smell, Not my favorite, not really what I was looking for. Let's try number 2. I'm actually feeling pretty good about number 2. In fact, let me turn it this way so that we don't get any drag marks from the glitter. That smells a lot better. And look at the purple, right back to normal. Okay, final batch. This is the one I feel the most confident about. And even though there is a little tiny bit of the ashing on the edges, that has to do with the thickness of the soap when I poured it and not the fragrance oil. This smells really, really good. The colors look nice and vivid as well. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Again, number 3 is out for performance-based issues. And these two guys look identical. Now, obviously, I have some more spots in this one because I didn't burp my stick blender very well. Those are just air bubbles in the soap. That's not something that the fragrance oil did. And honestly, it's just a test between which one smells better. I didn't think we would end up here, but I really like the smell of number 2. I feel like the grape scent comes through a lot stronger in this one. And that this one, while it still smells nice, loses some of the grape after a cure. And for that reason, number 2 is my pick. In conclusion, Grape Jolly Rancher from AFI is the chosen fragrance oil. This is ordinarily a job I wouldn't film. It's just something that goes on behind the scenes that you guys may not know about. So, if you are interested in seeing a more behind the scenes sort of look at royalty soaps, let me know down in the comments below because I'd love to change up the content if you guys are feeling like it's getting a little bit repetitive. I have many ideas for things we can do along the vein of behind the scenes. Remember, the first 1,000 people that sign up using the link down below in the top pinned comment of the comment section and the description box get 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, whether that is going out and getting yourself a classic piece of childhood candy like a Blow Pop or a Jolly Rancher. Or maybe if you're a soap maker or crafter, pulling out one of the colors you haven't used in a long time, being inspired by it and creating something amazing. I really liked that purple from Nurture Soap. I don't know where it is right now, but that purple isn't one that I've used in a while and I really, really liked it. Either way, be sure to do something fun for yourself today and I will see you guys soon. Don't forget, the launch of the Once Upon a Dream collection is on August 3rd at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Included will be all of the goodies I have made this month, plus the Bumblebee soap. We are bringing back the Bumblebee soap as our throwback for this month. And I have made 3 more soap batches off camera that are limited, but not as limited. It's not like one tiny batch. I made a couple slabs of them of a pink grapefruit scent, a lavender scent, and an oatmeal milk and honey scent. So I'll have even more available that I just decided to whip up on my own. And until next time, have an absolutely royal day, and bye for now, guys. Meow.